DWP bank statements and a new law has just had an update as of the 19th of May 2026. This is going to affect anybody who is on PIP, Universal Credit, ESA, or a type of transactional benefit. And I'm going to start by answering this question because DWP bank statements, what can they ask for versus what they can't, is taken a little bit of a change recently, but this has definitely been brought to my attention because I find this quite concerning. So let's pull this up. Can I ask why the PIP assessor could see my bank account online then? She questioned why I had a deposit of £3,000. It was actually my pension lump sum. So since then, I have felt very anxious about being watched. And I would do too. First of all, if I was in your position and I was asked about that, I would be asking to see maybe their screen or find out where they've got that information from. First of all, if you have not given them that information, I would want to know where they have got that information from. Because from information like that, there are going to be a sequence of decisions that are going to be made, whether that is a potential review on any other claim that you have going or anything else regarding fraud investigations, even HMRC. Now, the new FEAR Act, the Fraud, Error and Recovery Act, is very, very clear about EVM notices. And if you didn't already know, that means you're not following me. Make sure you do follow, guys. Follow along, hit notifications so you know when I post my videos every week. But EVM means EVM means Eligibility Verification Notice. And in the Act itself and in various reports from the Information Commissioner's Office in London, they clearly state that under the new Eligibility Verification Notice process, DWP cannot get your full transactional history from the bank. So I would want to know how they've got that. Number one, within your rights to request that. And if you want a bit more help, if you want my complete template set of letters along with a very good informational guide, you might want to go ahead and get my data review toolkit. It's going to be linked to somewhere along here. You can always find it at thejusticejournals.com and on OFFSYSTEM. And as you can see, lots of my viewers have found it very, very useful. And I'm just going to pull up David. Thank you, David, for your review. I used it and the case review at the job centre stopped with the guy apologising. And I think there is still currently a bundle offer deal where you can get the review kit along with my health journal, your literal 12-month evidence system here for PIP and any kind of disability verification and evidencing that you need in the bundle together. You can get that all over on the Justice Journals, link down below. Okay, now let's get back to this. Now, this code that I'm referring to here is all about what the law states DWP can and they cannot do with this new power they have got from the FEAR Act, in particular bank accounts and eligibility verification notices. Now, the official code of practice actually says that financial institutions are prohibited from sharing transactional information. So that means your bank cannot just send DWP like open access to your bank account or give them all of your bank accounts, all of your bank statements from your bank account. They cannot do it. So you must be writing and asking how they have got that information, who has shared that information with them. And transactional information, it means any data that shows specifically what you bought, the amount of your purchase, the date of your purchase, or who the transaction was with. So if somebody says to you or has led you to believe that DWP can see every shop purchase you've made, every piece of information in your bank account, well, that needs to be challenged, particularly this person here, because that is not what the rules state. Now, as of the 19th of May 2026, as I said, there are new rules to legislation affecting universal credit, the Social Security Act, personal independence payment, all around evidence. And this is where the plot is going to thicken for some people, because there are two completely different things being mixed together by some people, and some people are getting a bit confused. So number one, DWP do now have new bank check-in powers. This is where banks and financial institutions may be requested or asked to check certain eligibility indicators. I'm going to break that down in plain language. For you and me, it would be something that is like red flag, okay? Example, you say that to DWP, like, you're completely broke and you're completely dependent on universal credit and you've got no other income. Meanwhile, there's £2,000 a week or £2,000 a month coming into your account from somewhere that has not been disclosed to DWP. That would be an indicator. To us, that would be red flag. Okay, and number two, a benefit review. Now, the whole ethos around universal credit reviews seem to have changed, and I do question this. So when I used to work for DWP, you would only do like a review of a claim if there had been a change of circumstance. So change of income, change of address, how income going up, income going down, health issues, etc., etc. That would automatically trigger a review of a claim. Then that would be looked at by the work coach and their caseload, and they would decide whether or not they need to review that claim. If they have enough information to decide, yeah, I don't need to review that claim, then that would be that. Now, as I've already stated, I have a big concern over every single person, sorry for doing that, but every single person on universal credit, all of their claims being reviewed without any changes of circumstance, especially where a claimant is being asked to upload bank statements. And I'm also very concerned to read in the comments that you guys have said that you've been doing that and that the DWP have asked you to do it again because they have lost your bank statements. That, if it were me, would be a complaint to the ICO, a formal complaint to DWP, and I would be wanting to know, why have my bank statements been lost? And what is the process for them keeping your personal and private data, your banking data, secure? Quite a serious issue, that. Anyway, their new powers to be able to be informed of red flag behaviour on your bank account and a benefit review, for whatever reason, let's just leave it like that for this moment, are two different things. Now, as I've just stated, DWP cannot request from your bank a full transactional download or access to your bank account. And I think that's perfectly obvious, because if they did have that, then they wouldn't be asking you for your bank statements. But then if you're volunteering or being made to give them that transactional data, they're not going to have to ask the banks, are they? But what they will have is a whole load of information about you, your activity, what you do, how you spend your money, and the lifestyle that you have. And that lifestyle could massively conflict by what you have stated to them on your initial claim and at your appointments. And as I said, that is where the plot could thicken for some people. So the moral of this story, not saying that people do, but the moral of this story right there is just don't lie. Be honest about what you do. And if you have a disability, or you say you have anxiety or something that is less visible, like physically less visible, then please know that you do not have to live in an oyster shell inside your house for the rest of your life. I've seen some people in the comments make comments, please be respectful guys, make comments that, oh, if you've got anxiety then you shouldn't be going out of your house. Why? Any good doctor, any good mental health support worker or counsellor or therapist would probably be encouraging you to go out of your house so that you do not isolate yourself, so that you do start integrating. So Please don't read that if you're suffering with anxiety or a hidden disability and you think if you go outside of your house because you've said that you're too ill to work because of your mental health, that, you know, hell, doom and gloom is going to like break loose on you, because it shouldn't at all. It is your right to go out of your house, and it is part of you, you know, trying to, you know, rehabilitate yourself. So don't listen to that nonsense. Okay, let's get on to universal credit reviews, because they are very different. And I think this is the part really that people need to hear. If you go along to Gov UK, it does say, if your universal credit claim is being reviewed, you're going to get a journal message. You've all been saying you've been getting that. It also says, looking at some of your payments and transactions may help the review agent to review your claim and to check whether or not your details are up to date. And as of yesterday, there has been a whole section about evidencing things for universal credit, for PIP, for job seekers allowance that have been, and ESA and support allowance, personal dependence payment as well, in regards to decisions and appeals that have been updated in this act. And because of this change now, I would safely say that to reduct anything is probably going to be a no-no. So that's blacking things out. But you can still write and use the letters in the toolkit to ask under what legal basis are they requesting all of your data, all of your banking data, transactional data, because a full bank statement without anything like blacked out is your full transactional data. So DWP cannot see this information, and I think this is where people, as I said, are getting confused, but they can now ask for it. And these new amendments are pretty freaking damning, I'm not gonna lie. And as you can see in here, it says you only have 14 days to comply. And as you can see here, a person whose entitlement to an employment and support allowance or universal credit is conditional on their having or being treated as having limited capability for work. So whereas formerly people on PIP, for example, did not have to provide bank statements, I am starting to think that they are going to be going down that line as well. And I think this is something, although it's a red flag, I think it's also an indicator of things to come. Now, what I've just shown you is something called Regulation 45. Regulation 45 is really important because it deals with DWP asking for information or evidence when they are deciding whether a benefit award should be revised or superseded. Now, because of a recent change with the PIP Acts, Person Dependence Payment, Section 45 links to paragraph 9 and paragraph 10 of the Social Security Act. And when you look at the new changes of these relevant acts together, they clearly say that Section 45 give DWP powers to revise earlier decisions. That could be maybe there's been an official error, they need to correct it. So maybe they've overpaid you or they've underpaid you. Missing material facts. Now that comes down to what you've declared and what you're actually doing. If there is a big gap between the two, trust me, they're going to use Regulation 45. Decisions with no appeal right, and certain cases where an appeal is already underway. So, because of this new regulation, which quite a lot of what I've talked about today pivots on as of the 19th of May, if DWP now asks you for evidence, don't ignore it, but don't panic. Use the letters, for example, my letters in the data toolkit, to request why they want that information. Because quite a lot of the messages you get in your journal are very generic. Ask them if this is a revision or a supersession. Ask them specifically what exact evidence they require and why that evidence is relevant to your claim and/or the review that they're currently doing, if they're doing a review. Now, I'm going to be adding a brand new letter into the data toolkit today that is going to be obviously based all around this to help you guys out, because that's exactly why I created the data review toolkit. And please know that although they're asking you for things that you might not want to disclose to them, you do still have rights. And even after you've disclosed that data, if then someone starts to make decisions based on assumptions, which is just based on their, social prejudice, shall we say, then that is also an issue. And that can be legally challenged. Now, in my membership insiders, I do go through more processes relating to advocacy, particularly when it comes to suing people or protecting your rights. Now, it's not legal advice, but if you're going to go down the legal route of doing something, Justice Writer Pro is definitely going to help you, because the first thing it's going to do is reduce your legal bill, because it is a very effective case management system that solicitors will have, but they'll be paying like hundreds of pounds a month for. Now, I created Justice Writer Pro throughout my entire process of suing DWP when I used to work for them. So it is a highly trained and laser focused designed piece of kit that you can have for like 37 quid a month. Use it for when you need it. It's designed to help litigants in person. So people like me, people like you that are not lawyers, are not barristers, that don't have deep pockets for that type of thing. It's perfect for tribunals, employment tribunals, PIP tribunals, any type of tribunal. It will help you stay on top of your paperwork, which your solicitor will really appreciate, and that will reduce your legal bill. If you're self-representing like I did, it's also going to cut out a lot of the fluff and a lot of the woolliness, because if you're going to get confused, trust me, with the amount of paperwork you need in UK courts. So here we have the Glory Justice Writer Pro. It's like you can just use it on your computer. I would advise you use it on your computer. And as you can see there, it's got everything in it, from toolkits, letters. It's got a full case management and evidence sequencing system. It's really going to help you out, guys. Now, if you're a member of Insiders, you get this included in your monthly membership, right? But if you're not and you just want to use it as it is, particularly Mackenzie's friends are using Justice Writer Pro, trainee solicitors are using Justice Writer Pro, I've learned, and obviously litigants in person. So there we go. If you need to use it, it is there, and I hope it helps you out as much as it helped me. Right, I'm going to go away and get you this letter written and popped into the new, the updated data review toolkit. And let me know if you have any more questions around what we talked about today. Have a great day, guys. Have a great day, guys. Goodbye.